Now, we've got loads to talk about. I always like to start the show with a couple of funny clippets or news and things like that. And I thought, seeing as you're in Taiwan, we would do some interesting facts about Taiwan. Now, how long have you been there?
I've been there almost 10 months.
All right, okay. Well, I'll tell you these. I've got 5 interesting facts, and you can tell me if you know anything about it or you've seen it. So, apparently, bubble tea has its origins in Taiwan. Now, what bubble tea have you had it?
I have a friend here who got pretty upset at me a couple of months ago. I have never had bubble tea, but you're right. It's extremely, extremely popular here, and she could not believe I've never had bubble tea, but I have never had it. No, I know what it looks like. People have told me what it tastes like. They sell it everywhere, but I simply have never had the urge to try it.
Well, there you go. There's your homework. Try some bubble tea. I don't think I'd like tea with something in it. It just doesn't seem right, does it, to have?
I'm not a tea person.
Oh, right. Okay. There you go. I mean, I've got.
I think I like coffee, but I don't drink a lot of tea.
Oh, right. Well, apparently they have things like coconut jelly and stuff like that in it, and so I am interested, but it's not over the UK. I think they might do it in a few places, but I've never sort of come across it. But there you go. Right. Okay. So the second fact, you can drive around Taiwan. Keep saying Taiwan. Taiwan in only 8 hours. It's so small you can drive around the whole island in 8 hours. And there's some awe-inspiring natural wonders as you go around and historical sites. Have you seen any of that? Done any traveling around Taiwan?
I have the same friend. I went to her hometown. So Taiwan is a relatively small island country, and she lived basically. I live at the north of Taiwan in Taipei, and she lived basically in the middle in a place called Yulin. It's pronounced incorrectly in English, but it's called Yulin. And then at the very end, there's a place that's like Kaishan or something that's also not pronounced correctly. And so I could definitely imagine if you start at Taipei, start going around, I guess maybe you could get there in around 8 hours. It seems like it takes a long time for me to get around Taipei. Like usually when I'm working, it's like an hour and a half to almost 2 hours to get to places, and that's just in the Taipei area.
Yeah.
So going around the entire country in 8 hours, that seems kind of amazing to me, but I guess it could be possible.
I suppose if you didn't have any traffic and everything was just nice and easy to, that's without traffic.
Well, and the important thing you need to remember about Taiwan is that mopeds and motorcycles are really big here.
Yeah.
And so maybe go on the moped, you can skip through traffic because, you can just weave in between traffic, so you're not really stopping. Yeah. I can imagine the moped, you could probably go around the country in 8 hours because there's probably almost no traffic you're going through or you're having to deal with.
Yeah. Okay, right. Number 3, you can take away your trash to the tune of Beethoven. Now, tell me if this is correct. Apparently, the trash truck comes round every day to collect your rubbish, and how people know it's there is it actually plays music as it comes along. Is that correct?
That is true. And that's one thing I don't like about Taiwan, actually. That's one of the few things I don't like about this country. So the trash truck comes around twice a day, about twice a day past your house. You have to take out your trash and bring it downstairs.
Yeah.
If you miss those 2 times, you have to keep your trash until the next day.
Yeah.
And they play a song in order to let you know it's coming. You can usually hear it maybe about 3 blocks away. But it actually is, I've never had to deal with that in any other country. And it's kind of annoying because it's usually, for me, it comes at 3:30 when I'm at work or around 8:50 when I'm just coming home. So almost every day I almost miss it. So it's actually not very convenient, in all honesty. It's the one thing I don't particularly like here.
It annoys you. So when you hear that noise, it really annoys you when you hear that music.
Well, it's like it makes you think, like a Pavlov dog response. I can hear it right now, actually, but it makes you think trash time. So that's the thing. Like right now, I'm doing this, so I can't take out my trash. So
they're brainwashing you. They're brainwashing you.
Yeah,
okay.
it's kind of. I'm not a fan of it.
Okay. Now, number 4, this is a real interesting one to me. Taiwan is on a mission to become a single-use plastic-free country by 2030. The first steps to become a more eco-friendly nation will already be taken within the next few years. Plastic straws gone. Major restaurants have got rid of shopping bags and utensils and things like that. Have you seen any of that in Taiwan?
I don't know how accurate that is. No, there's a lot of plastic here. So
Oh, is it?
I've seen plastic straws, plastic utensils, all the food, the prepared food comes in plastic trays. I mean, there's a lot of recycling here. There's a lot of recycling.
Yeah.
That's very big here because this is an island country, so they don't have like a lot of space to just throw things away, like
Yeah.
dumps or something like America or something. But there's a lot of plastic here.
Yeah. So they're saying it, but whether they're doing it is another thing.
Whether they do it, yeah, it's another thing. But there is plastic here.
Okay, and then finally, Taiwan's beloved snack will make your nose fall off. It's hard on the nose, but easy on the tongue, apparently. This is how the popular Taiwanese snack was once described by an owner of a street food stand in Taiwan. Tofu is fermented tofu, has a strong, pungent odor, and they say it smells like wet socks, and the stink is so strong it can be smelt 300 meters away. And that's the reason it's sold on street markets instead of restaurants. Have you had any stinky tofu?
Not to my knowledge. I've had tofu here, but none of it that's really smell. However, there is a little stall outside that comes throughout the day. And there's something in that stall that smells really, really bad. It does smell bad, but I always thought that was like a pork thing. I didn't realize it was tofu. It could be tofu, but yeah, now I need to find out. But it does smell terrible. So
Does it?
it could. Yeah. It's very popular. It's always crowded.
Yeah. It says it's marinated in brine for weeks, and they have their own secret recipe. But it's got fermented milk. Oh, it sounds awful. But yeah, not my cup of tea.
Yeah, it could be it.
Anyway, right, there's my 5 amazing facts, which are probably all completely wrong. Good old Google. So that's enough of that rubbish. Right then, let's get on with you then, Todd. So tell us a bit about growing up and how you ended up in Taiwan, because I know you were from America, then you went Korea. So tell us a little bit about you growing up and how things went.
So it's been like a really long journey. Like I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, which is in America. It's in the southern portion of America. You know, America's a really big country.
Yeah.
And I went from New Orleans to a place called Atlanta in America. I was there for 10 years. I moved from New Orleans when I was 18. I was in Atlanta until I was 28. And then from Atlanta, I went to New York, which I'm sure all your audience knows, New York City. And I was there for 3 years. And I was living in New York. I was living in a place called Flushing, which is actually a Korean town. But there was that's not why I went to Korea. It was just kind of a coincidence that I ended up in Flushing. Yeah. Then after Flushing, I was getting my Master's of Fine Arts there. I got my bachelor's in Atlanta. And I moved to Korea, where I was for 10 years. And after Korea, I was looking for someplace new. So then I came here to Taiwan. I've been here for about 10 months now. I came here last October.
Yeah.
So that's basically the progression of how I went from my hometown, New Orleans, to here in Taiwan.